Welcome in. Today we've got a video that is 30 facts about Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. Now we do things a bit differently here. We've got one false fact that if you would like to try to find, it is in here somewhere. If not, fret not. It will be at the very end. Fact number 1. The Phantom Menace stands at the edge of two filmmaking ages. It still used sets, miniatures, costumes, and practical craft, yet it also leaned heavily into the digital future, rushing towards Hollywood. You can almost hear old cinema and new cinema changing places inside the same frame. Fact number 2. The final duel is powered by Duel of the Fates, composed by John Williams. Choral voices crash over pounding rhythm until the battle feels less like a fight and more like prophecy striking steel. Few pieces of film music announce destiny so loudly. Fact 3. When the energy barrier closes, Darth Maul paces like a trapped predator, while Qui-Gon Jinn quietly kneels to meditate. One gathers anger through motion, the other gathers peace through stillness. In a few silent seconds, the film explains both men completely. Fact 4. Darth Maul's double-bladed lightsaber was largely hidden before release. When the second blade suddenly ignited, audiences felt as if a secret mechanism had snapped open in the dark. It became one of the film's most unforgettable images instantly. Fact 5. George Lucas said that roughly 95% of the film's shots were digitally altered in some way. Nearly every image has been touched, expanded, corrected, or transformed before reaching the screen. The Phantom Menace was not simply filmed, it was constructed. Fact 6. The Naboo Royal Starship was finished in reflective chrome, so bright it behaved like a mirror. Cameras, lights, and crew could accidentally appear on its surface during filming. Beauty became a technical problem, polished to perfection. Fact 7. During the final duel, Obi-Wan hangs deep inside the reactor shaft, while Darth Maul waits above and Qui-Gon's saber lies just out of reach. In one explosive leap, he rises from near certain defeat into victory. The future changes in a single upward motion, fueled by a sudden burst of emotion. Fact 8. Jar Jar Binks was one of cinema's earliest major fully digital supporting characters in a live-action blockbuster. The production treated him not as a novelty, but as a true performer, sharing scenes with human actors. He was part experiment, part milestone. George Lucas designed the pod race to feel like impossible speed tearing through stone canyons. Engines scream, sand erupts, and machines seem to outrun the camera itself. It remains one of the film's loudest and most physical sequences. Fact 10. The film ends with bright celebration on Naboo. Music, banners, smiling crowds, and ceremonial peace. Yet beneath the sunlight, darker plans have already succeeded. Victory is real, but incomplete. Alright. After 10, have you spotted the false fact yet? Have you spotted the false fact yet? Okay. That's an interesting theory, to say the least. Let's get back to it. Fact 11. Lucasfilm hoped to push much further into digital cinematography during production, but the cameras were not yet fully ready. The Phantom Menace arrived at the exact moment technology was almost there. It became a bridge built just before the road was finished. Fact 12. The film's effects work earned major award attention, including an Academy Award nomination for Best Visual Effects. Even many critics who disliked parts of the story acknowledged the machinery behind the images. The craft was impossible to ignore. Fact 13. Ray Park was chosen to play Darth Maul largely for his martial arts skill and disciplined movement. Maul needed to move like a blade rather than a man. Park gave the character danger before dialogue ever began. Fact 14. Droidicas were designed to roll forward like wheels, then unfold into armed battle forms. Their transformation resembles a machine blooming into a predator. Few droid introductions in the saga feel so immediately threatening. Fact 15. Midichlorians were introduced as a biological measure linked to force sensitivity. For some viewers, it expanded the mythology. For others, it narrowed mystery into numbers. Few single words in Star Wars cause such long debates. Fact 16. Mos Espa was built as a substantial physical set in Tunisia rather than existing only inside computers. Streets, walls, shops, and dust all surrounded the actors for real. You can feel the heat in the architecture. Fact 17. Many viewers who first saw the film as children later grew deeply affectionate toward it. Worlds, music, pod racing, and lightsaber battles settled into memory over time. Generations often judge films differently than opening night critics. Fact 18. Darth Maul speaks little appears briefly, yet his impact lasted far beyond the film itself. Some characters dominate through hours of dialogue. Maul arrived through design, movement, and menace. He entered like thunder and vanished just as fast as lightning. Fact 19. George Lucas began writing Episode 1 on November 1st, 1994. Quietly, with a blank page and returning ideas, the prequel era began on that date. Massive events often start in silence. Fact 20. Some pickup shots for the film were captured digitally, even though audiences were not meant to notice which ones. These moments quietly previewed the future Lucas would embrace more fully in later prequels. The shift had already begun. Alright. Do you believe that we have come across the false fact yet? Could be, could not be. You'll just have to wait and see. Are you 100% sure? Do you want to lock it in? You don't have to. It's not a competition. It's just a game. It's only game where you have to be met. If you know that one. Ilya, not Sorokin. It's an Ilya from the NHL. He was a goalie. Samsonov? No. One of them. Played for the Anaheim Ducks at least. Fact 21. The Phantom Menace reintroduced politics to Star Wars through trade disputes, Senate procedures, and institutional paralysis. Instead of beginning with rebellion, it begins with systems failing slowly. Empires sometimes grow from paperwork. Fact 22. The Naboo Royal Starfighter gleams with smooth curves and mirror-bright surfaces, while Tatooine is full of exposed engines and patched metal. One world is elegance, the other is survival. The contrast is visible before a single line is spoken. Fact 23. Anakin's pod racer was designed to look stable and controlled, even while standing still. Its compact design, compact engines, reinforced cockpit, and neatly arranged cables suggest reliability and precision. It appears assembled with careful planning rather than risk. Fact 24. Ahmed Best has said, Jar Jar was once imagined more like a salamander, lower to the ground and physically different from the final lanky design. The characters change shape before audiences ever met him. Even digital beings evolve. The original Fact 25. In the original theatrical release, Yoda appeared as a practical puppet rather than CGI. Later versions replaced him digitally, but early audiences first saw him through fabric, material, and hands working just outside the frame. It was one of the saga's last strong ties to older methods. Liam Neeson was chosen to play Qui-Gon Jinn because Lucas wanted a Jedi who felt calm, experienced, and quietly powerful. Neeson's deep voice and still presence made Qui-Gon seem like a man who had already survived many storms. He commands scenes without ever needing to raise his volume. Fact 27. Ewan McGregor studied Alec Guinness carefully before filming. He watched posture, speech rhythm, and subtle gestures so the younger Obi-Wan could grow naturally into the older version audiences already knew. Performance became continuity. Fact 28. Queen Amidala's costumes were inspired by real ceremonial fashion and royal history. Layers, structure, and symmetry gave her the presence of a figure built by tradition rather than trend. She enters rooms like moving architecture. Fact 29. Many of Amidala's costumes were physically heavy and difficult to wear for long periods. Beneath elaborate fabrics, jewelry, and makeup, Natalie Portman often had to move slowly and carefully. Even walking became part of the performance. Fact 30. Keira Knightley appears as Sabe, the Queen's decoy, styled to resemble Natalie Portman so closely that some people on set reportedly confused them. She helped make deception feel believable, both on screen and behind it. So before I tell you which fact is false, would you like to tell me which one you think it is? Okay, yeah. Well, it was fact 23. If you guessed that, you were right. Here is the real version of that fact. Fact 23 corrected. Anakin's pod racer was designed to look dangerously fast, even while standing still. Its long engines, narrow cockpit, and exposed cables suggest speed barely held together. It appears assembled from courage and scrap. That is all 30 facts compiled into one. And so, we end off with just a little bit of relaxing mic scratching. With the fluffy mic, it allows for such elegance, just like the Phantom Menace. And just for a moment, I'd like to share the jacket I have on. We've got a Darth Maul themed jacket. I was able to pick this up at a booth in Star Wars Celebration Japan. It's super, super cool. I show it off more in another video. But now, I will have to say good night, good relaxation, and good luck. If you like this video, leave a like. If you really liked it, hit subscribe button. And if you like whispering or soft spoken, definitely let me know. That is it. Thank you so much for being here, and so much for watching. I will see you in the next video.